All right, we're going to call this meeting today of the Michigan State Police Civil Service Commission, Wednesday, September 18th, to order. Roll call members.
Commissioner Buda?
Here.
Commissioner Pliski is absent. Commissioner Palmer?
Here. All right, the next item on the agenda, we're going to go with the promotion to the rank of corporal. So we have the corporal rank from Corporal Radiker open effective August 17, 2019, and we're here today to award the rank of corporal to Willie Henderson. Congratulations, Willie. Before we hand you your certificate, we need to make it legal, so I need a motion from the board that we promote Willie Henderson from the rank of detective officer to rank of corporal effective August 17, 2019.
I'll so move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. You've been approved. Congratulations again. Come on over.
Thank you, sir.
Corporal Henderson, before you run off, I'm going to share a few things with you. One, we could not be more proud to announce your promotion today. It's well deserved. For the past 7 years, you have served this department with the utmost professionalism. You have gone above and beyond since day one when you were hired on this department. Your career has excelled faster than most at this department. You are a valuable member to this department because whenever we are faced with the utmost high-risk case, some of the most dangerous things we deal with, the most violent things, you always seem to find a way to get to the bottom of those investigations through the work of not only the task force that you work with, but you yourself. After hours, you're constantly on the phone, texting, helping us. You go above and beyond. I'm very, very much appreciative of everything that you do. Today's promotion, unfortunately for those of us in the supervision ranks here at the department, you're going to see some of the people you've worked with over the last 7 years now and maybe look at you a little bit differently. It just comes with your promotion. Don't take it personally. It's a responsibility now that you have because you have to hold all of us to a higher standard as a supervisor. Today I want you to also, as you leave here, understand that you're embracing this responsibility, that you have to seek cooperation of others. I've got a whole list of things here I'd like to share with you, and then when you have the time, please read each and every one of these. A lot of it you've read during the promotional manuals that you've been provided through prior testing and that, but I think this will help guide you in your promotion. I look forward to great things in your career here at the department. You're going to continue to excel, and someday I hope to see you as a captain here in our command staff, because I know that you'll serve this department very, very proud. So with that, it is my pleasure to issue you your badge upon your promotion. And again, thank you for everything that you've done for us to continue to do great things. Thanks, sir. Start. Kevin Stephens. Commissioners, photo picture.
Love red. Remind us one. Remind us one.
Willie, would you like to say a few words before you take a seat?
A quick couple.
Congratulations. I guess first of all, just thanks for the opportunity, you guys, to be employed here at the beginning. Obviously, 7 years later now, it kind of goes quick, and appreciate the opportunity to be promoted and be a supervisor. And Cisco, Tim, Kyle, you guys have shown me kind of the way. It's easy to kind of get in that role of being a supervisor when you're supervised by good ones, so I appreciate it. That's all.
All right.
All right. You can be excused if you want to leave. Or you can stay. We have no... Okay, we will start with the remainder of this meeting. And we'll go to the approval of the minutes of the August 14th regular meeting, the August 24th special meeting, the August 26th special meeting, the August 26th swearing-in ceremony minutes, and the August 27th special meeting.
I'll approve them all as written.
Motion by Commissioner Bruder, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Old business applicants in process. We'll start with, we have 15 applicants in polygraph. We've received 7 of them back, which we're going to review after this meeting today. And there's also 15 background investigations, which will have been completed by the end of next week, hopefully, as long as we get the remainder of the polygraphs back. We have nobody in physical and psych and nobody in perf. Questions on the applicants in process? Okay, if not, we'll move on to probationary officer reports.
Good evening, Commissioners. You've all been provided with a report on the probationary officers. Just a quick rundown on that report. Officer Galletti is doing a great job riding solo on shift 2. Officer Murray and Officer Ortega had graduated from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy on September the 5th, and they are finishing up phase 4 currently. Officer Murray's on 2nd shift while Officer Ortega is riding on 3rd shift. They're both scheduled to complete the FTO program on October the 5th. Officer Gore is also doing a great job riding solo on shift 3. Officers Alvarez, Foster, Lozano, Wells, and Wendell started the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy this Monday, September 16th, and they're scheduled to graduate on December 27th. Officers Lewis and McDaniel have signed up for the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, and they'll start their basic training on January 13th. January 13th, yes. They complete the basic training with Sergeant Bielski on September 27th. And then they'll go ahead and start phase 1 of the FTO program. Both officers will be assigned to the midnight shift, where they'll be riding with their field training officers. Other than that, I'd just like to congratulate Corporal Willie Henderson on his promotion and wish Greg Radiker well with his new position at Disney.
All right, so Murray and Ortega are riding solo?
No, they're still in training. They're still in phase 4. They are assigned to a field training officer.
A month away. Until the 4th. Until the 5th of October?
Yes, October 5th, they're scheduled to complete the FTO program. They're finishing phase 4 right now.
So when will they be released, do you think?
I would hope by October the 5th when they complete the FTO program.
So we'll have to let you know when they complete it so you can do your ride-along with them as well.
There's a possibility they could complete the 4th phase a little sooner, but that all depends on their training officers.
Okay,
Very good. When's the probationary period up?
October 5th.
The probationary period's up?
Yeah.
Same day as the complete?
Yeah, that one ran a little bit longer than expected. All right, any other old business? New business, we have correspondence.
Yes, we do. We received an email from applicant Colton Nowatzki withdrawing from the application process. Email from Lieutenant Jesse regarding a phone call from Miss Sandy Feldman from Lakeside, Michigan, complimenting Officer Louis Gallegos for assisting them after they were involved in an accident and their vehicle was disabled. She wanted to make sure that the department knew how great of an officer he was. As she stated, he was resourceful, respectful, smart, bright, good-hearted, and well-trained. We received a resignation letter from Officer Jordan Wooten, effective at the close of business on September 4th, 2019, and a resignation letter from probationary officer Cody Przinski, effective at the close of business on August 26, 2019. We also received a disciplinary matter from Captain Jesse. We need to pay claims totaling $888.30.
You need a motion to pay the claims of $888.30.
I'll move we pay the claims for $888.30.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. the 2 resignation letters, or need to accept them as presented?
Also move.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Past performance ratings for the period January 1st to June 30th, Chief?
This time, they've been sent back to the commanders. Many of them have been completed. I know there's still a few out there. I would suspect in the next 2 weeks that you should have all of them to your office. And we'll send out a reminder to the command staff.
Applicant testing, we're trying to work on a date for the next test. We're going to talk about it in our special meeting, Chief, so we're looking at either the first or second Saturday. I know you're going to be busy the second Saturday, but we may do it without you on the second Saturday if you're okay.
I'll be out of town.
Yeah.
October 12th.
Yeah, but we may be doing it on a Sunday instead. We're going to discuss it during our special meeting.
By curiosity, how many applications are we at currently?
We have 9 applications, plus I have 4 that didn't make the last test that was because they had to work, wants to take it, the next test, as long as they can get off work.
I appreciate setting the date sooner than later as you're working on one of those 2 dates. Because I was yesterday's command staff meeting. There was obviously grave concerns about how soon we can hire in the near future, and I appreciate everything the commission's doing to help us expedite the hiring process. Much appreciated.
Also, I handed out today the results from the applicant testing stats for August 24th that you can share with City Council as well. I wish you would. So I'm tired of hearing them complain about, we don't hire Michigan City people. You can see that we don't have many apply, so we can't hire them if they don't apply. But we listed them about the total of apps we received, the total that were tested, how many passed, how many failed. We did it by race and city as well. And the physical fitness, we listed the ones that passed, the ones that failed as well. So you can see those numbers. And then the no-shows. I mean, we had 5 from Michigan City that didn't even show up. Just to let you know, those are the stats for the last test. Questions? All right, report from Chief Swistek then.
Good morning. 2 topics I want to spend a little bit of time talking about. One of them actually leads into what you had just closed on, the last applicant test. Several months back, we participated in a survey which actually was conducted over 45 states across the U.S., where U.S. police agencies are having trouble both hiring, keeping officers, and in this survey, which I had emailed all of you this morning, I also shared it with the mayor and the city council. I want to touch on a few comments that are made within the survey. There's 3 key points that were pointed out in the survey, is that there's a decreasing applicant pool for police officers nationwide. So it's not only a Michigan City problem, it's a nation problem. The reason for that is much scrutiny that comes to this profession, and that a lot of the younger generation are finding careers outside of public service that they are not choosing to enter into public service. Second point is early exits, which we've seen here in recent years. We had a probationary officer most recently that he just accepted his resignation this morning. He was only with us for 3 months. He spent 3 months serving here in the city of Michigan City after 5 years serving in the United States Naval Service, and said that this was always a career that he thought he'd want to spend his life serving in, and after 3 months of doing the job, he said there's no way he could imagine himself doing this career for 20 years. Corporal Greg Radiger left us after 10 years of service and went into the private sector and is now working at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, serving as a bomb detection canine handler. And then the third point that's brought out in this survey are the high rates of retirement across the country. That many law enforcement agencies are seeing a much higher rate of retirement, where many officers are reaching their 20th year of service, eligible for retirement, and they're leaving immediately upon reaching 20 years, which is also evident here in the city of Michigan City. Just last month, I had one of our officers who actually tomorrow hits his 20th year, as a matter of fact. Will hit 20 years of service tomorrow, and came in last month and notified me that he will be retiring His last day here at the Michigan City Police Department on duty will be December 17th, and effective January 1st of next year, he's going to be taking his retirement after 20 years of service. So last night at the city council meeting and at previous city council meetings and across many discussions across our great community, there's been a discussion as to why is the Michigan City Police Department losing so many officers. Some want to blame the administration, some want to blame city government, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that it is a much deeper issue here than anything that has ever been discussed. And no one has ever reached out to me from the public to say, Chief, why are you losing the officers? So today I'm here to tell you the reasons why. 3 of the points I just talked about are 3 of the main reasons. Another one is, and it's outlined here in this article, and they did a great job of outlining it, there's a quote that says, when you do a job that's being highly criticized on a daily basis, we have to ask ourselves, how do you find good candidates that really want to be under that type of scrutiny? And it goes on to say, if you feel like you're being scrutinized all the time, then this may not be the career that you want. So we understand that is the reason maybe why we have a roadblock when it comes to our applicants. And I couldn't agree with that more. My office personally, I see the criticism from the community. There's many great people that are out in our community that support the men and women of law enforcement. But unfortunately, during the current climate that we live in, there are many in our community as well that want to be outspoken about the great work that we do here at the Michigan City Police Department, and often come before city government meetings and in other social media platforms and want to lash out against the men and women of this department. But I would ask you to look at the character of those individuals. I would ask you to look at the history of those individuals. Many of them have an undesirable past and have a troubled time just living their lives today. But the good people of this community support the men and women of this department. So I just want to publicly say that I appreciate everything that the men and women do for this department. I'm going to continue to be outspoken about this topic because this is a very hard topic when it comes to finding qualified applicants. I want to thank this commission for all the work that they do to continually work towards finding qualified applicants, because as I read the survey as well, we'll find in here that many proactive approaches that many departments have done is that some agencies have relaxed their hiring standards, especially with the respect of educational levels, prior drug use, tattoos, and facial hair. And some of these changes have eliminated and broadened changes in social norms, have helped them in bringing in more applicants. Well, I know this commission won't stand for that, and you guys seek the most qualified and the most professional candidate that we can find, and I appreciate that, because it's like building a winning franchise, an NFL team that heads to the Super Bowl. I feel that's my job as the administrator here. Your job as the commission is to find qualified applicants for this department. So I want to continue that practice. Therefore, we may have times that we're not going to be full staff because we're being particular about who we hire, and I do appreciate that. And I want the community to know how stringent we are when looking at these applicants. The last topic I want to talk about is there's discussion within the City Council currently about creating a citizens review board for the Michigan City Police Department. And I think this commission needs to be fully aware that there are individuals, once again, in our community, individuals who have troubled past, individuals who are outspoken against the professional men and women of this department, that are trying to push some of our government officials to create an additional layer of review for the men and women of this police department by creating a citizens review board. I would caution the City of Michigan City, I would caution our city government, I would caution this commission to take a close look at what they are proposing. Now, if this was a troubled department, a department that has a plethora of internal affairs complaints, where you have good-hearted, good-natured citizens and business leaders coming to governmental meetings and speaking out against your police department, I would say we have a problem. That is not occurring in this city. Last night's city council meeting, which is on September 17th, is a clear example of watching the public comment that occurred there, that the individuals speaking out against this department are telling untruthful information. They continually tell lies against this department, and I would hate to see those individuals convincing city government officials to create another layer for the Michigan City Police Department, because here's what will happen. One, it will shut down the men and women of this police department. I would not blame them one bit as their superintendent when they already feel like they are under the public scrutiny each and every day. They work hard, they sacrifice their lives and their families to do great things for this community. We still remain the only law enforcement agency here in LaPorte County to wear body-worn cameras, and we did that voluntarily. And it has helped clear many false allegations against our officers. Now, I want to touch upon the internal affairs complaints that this department receives. This morning, we ran year-to-date the number of formal complaints filed against the 84 police officers here at this police department, and year-to-date, we have only had 11 formalized complaints. 7 of them were received from members of this community. That is less than 1 per month. And 4 of the internal affairs investigations that were pulled by the administration, were conducted into the conduct of our officers, and subsequent to that, we've held our officers accountable for their actions. And in one case, one of the officers is no longer with the department. So we hold our people accountable here. We are a very accountable department. So again, I would say, you do not have the internal affairs complaints. You do not have the outcry from the community asking for a citizens review board. And I would caution this commission, each of you, one being appointed by the mayor, one appointed by the council, and one appointed by the union membership of the Fraternal Order of Police, to start to meet with other government officials, head this off before we go down the wrong path of creating this extra layer of review. Gentlemen, you do an exceptional job reviewing the discipline here at the police department. Individuals from the community are always open to reach out to the Police Civil Service Merit Commission at any time. And President Palmer, I would ask, I don't think you've received any complaints this year from the public.
We've received none from
not
anybody.
A single complaint from a member of this community. So that tells me that the hidden agendas and the motives of the people that are asking for the Citizens Review Board, that they are all for the wrong reasons, or to fulfill their own hidden agendas. And I would, once again, in closing, just caution all of us as we move forward to make sure that we stand for what's right and that we defend the actions of the men and women of this department, because they are very hardworking people that feel all too often that they're criticized by those that are out there to disrupt this community and tear this great community apart. And with that, I will close on my soapbox. But again, it is my job as the chief of police to defend the men and women of this department and to make sure that they are treated fairly. And with that, I thank you for your time and listening. And I would open it up for any questions.
I have to agree with you, Chief. I'm very disappointed in the City Council not reaching out to us and asking for a meeting. I guess we will reach out to them and see if we can have this meeting. I'm tired of watching the council meetings and us being bashed with lies. There have been no complaints. We have an open door policy. We have email, we have phones, we have everything. We have yet to receive a complaint. And the ones that you have investigated and looked at were frivolous and non-disciplinary action type thing. But it's a way for the public to be able to vent their frustration, and that's fine. But as far as a review board, there is nothing necessary for a review board. We have not encountered a situation that would require a review board. It's, in my opinion, it's idiotic for them to even bring that up based on one individual in the community that's causing all this problem. If there was a need, we would tell you. We were inundated and we should have something to look at. There's nothing there, and I'm proud of what the men and women of the police department are holding up well under all this pressure of being bombarded by, quote unquote, and I'll call him a village idiot. I mean, everybody has one, but this person is just, he has nothing to corroborate anything he says, but yet people listen to that and they believe what he says, and that's wrong. And it doesn't require a review board to handle this. So I will reach out to Don. In fact, I'll probably see him tonight at the meeting and tell him that we'll be glad to sit down and talk with him and the council and explain what's going on, why we're losing the people. It's not because of you. It's not because of us. It's their choice. It has to do with, maybe the council should wake up and realize we're not paying enough. We're losing them because of pay. And maybe there should be some adjustment in that area. For all city employees, and just not us, but all the city employees aren't paid what they deserve to be paid. And that's why we lose all good people in all the departments. So, again, that's my soap, and I'm sorry I vented, but it's just, last night's meeting just, I was at home and watched it, and I just became more and more frustrated over allowing an individual to spout off lies and truths, or lies and videos that aren't true, and hopefully this will get rectified soon. That's my soap. Mike?
No, I agree. I agree with President Palmer and Chief Swistek that we don't need a review board at this point. We've never had a complaint come to us directly. We've had disciplinary issues, obviously, over the last 15 years I've been involved with this, but we handle them internally, and we're losing people. They get better opportunities, they move to different communities. I can understand that. And recruiting new people because of situations that President Palmer just described at the council meeting last night is a deterrent to new applicants. Why should they put up with this stuff? It's insane. And it's too bad that a handful of individuals in this community right now are basically harassing the police department. So I agree with both gentlemen. And yeah, let's meet with the council and do whatever we have to do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your comments. And like I said, when we look back over the last 3 years, we've lost roughly, after the retirement's coming up here soon, it'll be about 28 officers have left the department in a little less than 3 years. But when I look at the 28 officers that have left, none of them, not a single one, and I sit down with each officer, whether they resign early, as was the case with the young probationary officer that left after 3 months. Both myself and Assistant Chief Urbancic sat down with him his last morning on the job, and we spoke with him. Our FOP president, Doug Samuelson, he retired last month after 22 years of service to the department, left to take another position to collect his pension, and is now working full-time at Franciscan Hospital as a security officer. So I could go down the list of all 28 officers and why they left the department. Another perfect example is Officer Jordan Wooten. Officer Wooten was with us for just over a year. He was from Champaign, Illinois. He came to the city of Michigan City, applied, we gave him an opportunity. He worked with us for a year, was an exceptional officer. We were paying him $44,000 a year. He left to accept a position in the hometown where he grew up in Champaign, Illinois, starting at $67,000 a year, making $23,000 a year more than what we're paying him, almost $2,000 a month more than what we're currently paying him here at the Michigan City Police Department. So again, ladies and gentlemen, those are the reasons why the officers are leaving the department. They're not leaving because of the city administration. They're not leaving because of the police administration. I've got an explanation for every single person that has left this department. And it's unfortunate that we're seeing the turnover rate that we're currently experiencing, therefore putting much more burden on the men and women that are working each and every day. They're having to backfill on overtime. The commission is working around the clock as the police administration to backfill these positions. So, I can assure the public that we are working on these topics, but again, when you're starting out paying somebody $43,000 a year, and the departments to the west of us are starting out in the 50s, $53,000, $57,000, it's hard to compete with that when you're looking for the best of the best when they're going to the more higher paying departments. So, but again, thank you everyone for your comments and for listening.
Assistant Chief Urbancic?
I would just like to echo the conversation that Chief Swistek said, is that on behalf of the men and women in this department, we greatly appreciate the comments that you just recently made and your support, because it does mean a lot to these officers. They do go out every single day, they do their job, and they're constantly being criticized and critiqued for the things that they have been doing, and all they're out there doing is just doing their job the way that they were trained. And it's a difficult profession, and quite honestly, I don't blame a lot of these officers for wanting to leave this profession to have to put up with that stuff. So, again, we greatly appreciate the support and the comments that you just recently made during this meeting. So thank you.
Chief Williams?
I'd just like to offer the congratulations again for Corporal Henderson on his promotion. He's always done a good job. I'm sure he's going to continue to do so. So, huge congratulations to him.
That's
if I may add one more comment, just these people that are complaining, who do they call when they get in the jam? Who do they call if they have an accident or if they get assaulted? They're going to call the police department. All of a sudden, they need our help. But yet they can make us look bad and put the department down at their convenience. It just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Sarge?
Yes, I have a couple of things. First of all, accolades to all of you commissioners for helping this hiring process. We really appreciate all the ones that we've had thus far. Also to Sergeant Ken Drake and the FTO officers that are diligently working to get these guys on the street. They're doing a tremendous job. They've all taken on the background investigations here most recently and doing a great job with that too. So I appreciate their efforts to help into this process. We are going to do our physical fitness training for again this year. This is our fall session. We've done the spring session in fall. We do it twice a year. That'll begin October 1st and go through the 23rd. And that's going to, of course, hopefully all the officers will participate. We then also have Assistance Police Academy starting next Thursday. That will be for the next 7 weeks after that, and that's, it's our 9th year, and well receptive from the community, and hopefully everybody will enjoy that. Officers McDaniel and Lewis are doing a tremendous job, the two new probationary officers, and they are just going to be completing this next week. They're pre-basic, and then moving on at the end of this month to the shifts for the NPO officers. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner comments, just want to congratulate Corporal Henderson on his promotion. He was one of them that we hired, and he's done an excellent job in the 7 years he's been here, and I do look for him to be moving up the ladder quickly. Commissioner Buder?
My thoughts also on congratulating Corporal Henderson and to Sergeant Yagelski for again putting together the Citizens Academy. It's well attended and people are really excited about it, and when they get done they're thankful that they did it. Thank you.
Attorney comments?
Yes. Late this summer I had an email from the sheriff forwarded to me addressing a Indiana statute that requires sheriff's departments around the state to give preferential hiring status and treatment to veterans who apply for a position. And that was a matter of state law, and the question was posed whether it applies to local departments as well. Candidly, it's a great concept, and I can see the benefits for such a law, but it is not a law that mandates local departments give preferential treatment to our veterans. There's plenty of reasons why we might, plenty of reasons why consideration might be undertaken for an amendment to the ordinance to grant that kind of consideration. But as it stands now, Indiana law does not compel this body to give preferential treatment, and it may even violate the ordinance to do so in the absence of a modification of that ordinance. The second comment that I had this morning was to also share my congratulations to now Corporal Henderson. As former prosecutor, I enjoyed the opportunity to work firsthand on cases with Willie, and I have to say that you couldn't help but notice somebody who was truly going to be back before this commission from time to time with promotions over the course of what we hope to be a lengthy career here in the Michigan City Police Department, because the quality of his work, the willingness to take on the most complex of cases, difficult of cases, was almost something that he gravitated towards. So it doesn't surprise me that in a short period of time that we're seeing now Corporal Henderson receive that promotion. The last comment that I have, and it's not often that I'm going to weigh in on matters of policy, matters of political debate, but I really feel compelled for my own personal experiences to weigh in on the comments that Chief Swistek made this morning. And I'm drawing from a 30-plus year career as a prosecutor. A career that's spanned 3 states, and I have to tell you, over that time, I've had the privilege and opportunity to work with the best and the brightest in law enforcement. And I can tell you without exception that working with the Michigan City Police Department, bar none, it has been truly the most enjoyable aspect of working with a local law enforcement agency that I have had as a prosecutor. The quality of work that comes out of the Michigan City Police Department, the high level of professionalism and standards that are established for this department, truly has created an extraordinary body in LaPorte County, and it's a standard that departments across the state and across the country, and that's not hyperbole, this isn't exaggeration, truly would benefit their communities to model after the quality of work and leadership that we're seeing in the Michigan City Police Department. And I believe that it is that very quality of work, the high standards of professionalism, that is leading to the kind of pushback from individuals who have a 30-year career, a 30-year history of antagonism towards law enforcement, of involvement in the criminal justice system as a defendant, and then to see those kinds of individuals given the kind of respect that is unearned, undeserved, and to give them the opportunity to be critical of this department, I think is just, it's laughable from the perspective of one who has lived a career and has watched others respect the law when individuals can now come forward and say what we need is a citizens review board. I think it's misplaced. This isn't the community where that kind of review body is warranted, is needed, and it is, candidly, I think it would be counterproductive to everything that you're trying to do here by retain law enforcement and produce the most qualified officers and candidates, applicants that you can find in the community. So that's John Esper, and in my opinion, not one that you're going to frequently hear because that's not my role with this body, but I really felt compelled to speak out this morning.
Appreciate it, John. The other question regarding the military, we are following the state statute in that, because we just had an applicant apply that had military experience, but this applicant was over the age. The state says they don't have to be 36, they can go up to age 40. This person was 43, so we could not bend the rule on that aspect, but we do follow that policy now in our hiring, that if they have military experience and they're under the age of 40, they can still apply. So we do have that.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
And the state statute does not direct and mandate local departments. That was the point I was trying to make.
Any other comments? There is no city council liaison or FOP today or public, so having exhausted our list, I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll move we adjourn.
I'll second. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much.